Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily, where we go through the latest transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. There are three certainties in life: death, Liverpool never winning the Premier League, and Manchester United being linked to Neymar. And it appears we're going to get it a little bit earlier than normal. But remember, this is a fan channel. We react to what the transfer rumours are out there. So apparently Neymar, and it is in the Express, Neymar is unsettled at PSG because the standard of football in France is not that good. I mean, Jesus Neymar, come on. That's the strike force, isn't it? Jesus Neymar. Jesus Neymar, that's the strike force at Brazil. Come on, Neymar. Watch the United Stand. What have I been calling the French league on here for 2 or 3 years? It's a pub league. Did somebody not tell Neymar that, yeah, you're going to earn a lot of money, but it's going to be a pub league apart from the Champions League games? So Neymar isn't happy in the French league. What a bloody surprise. I think he was so desperate to get out of the shadow of Messi that he's gone to a rubbish league. But the problem is, I don't think he wants to go back to Barcelona. He's not going to go to Real Madrid, although that is rumoured because of Barcelona, which leaves England, really, if he wants big money. And do Manchester City want him? I don't really think. I think Pep's got his head screwed on. I think United probably haven't. I think United will jump and go, it's a Galactico signing. Neymar is exactly the sort of signing United would make. I mean, Woodward's been linked to him for about, I think, even the summer of David Moyes. So I think Woodward would like to sign him. Obviously, he's got huge marketability worldwide. But the reason I've never wanted Neymar at Manchester United, and if we signed him, I'd be as excited as when we signed Pogba, because he's a fantastic player. But I just have massive concerns about his mentality, his teamwork ethic. I think it's Team Neymar, and we don't need Team Neymar. We need Team Manchester United. I must also say, I don't think it's going to happen, but what I would say is that anything can happen with Manchester United. 2 years ago, if somebody had been saying at this time 2 years ago we're going to sign Pogba, we would have gone, hold up, we're managed by Van Gaal, we're not even going to be in Champions League and we're signing Paul Pogba. Yeah, jog on. So Manchester United can do anything, and we could do a big signing like that. But I suspect Neymar will probably stay in Paris for another year, but that's the story for you. Next player I want to talk about is Justin Kluivert from Ajax. Played against Ajax, obviously, in the Europa League final last year. Jose Mourinho spoke to him on the pitch. There was that little whisper, and a lot of people felt that maybe was continue to grow, and I'll bring you to Manchester United. Now, he's 19 in 2 days' time. Young Justin Kluivert, obviously son of Patrick, and he's also a client of Mino Raiola with a year left on his contract. Now, Edwin van der Sar is actually working for Ajax at the moment, and he feels that Justin Kluivert should play on for another year there and develop. But he's only got a year left on his contract, and he is a Mino Raiola player who, every year of Jose Mourinho's reign so far, Mourinho has purchased players off Mino Raiola, which I'll come back to in a moment. But would we go for a player like this? I think he's got 10 goals and 5 assists in Division this season, Justin Kluivert, and he's a fast, skillful player. And he's the sort of player that would excite Manchester United fans. And if we signed him, I would embrace him. Not literally and physically, but I would embrace a signing like that, because that is exactly what Manchester United should do. Two things. One, I don't think Mourinho he hasn't signed anybody under the age of 23 for Manchester United yet, and I don't think Mourinho, in his short-term view to try and get United title winners, is going to go for a player like that, who clearly needs some more development. And secondly, do we need a player like that? We've got Rashford, Martial, we've got Chong, Gomez coming through, we've got Lingard. I don't know that we need another young winger when we probably need a more experienced winger. So I don't see it happening, but everything actually would suggest that it could happen. Year left on his contract, so he's going to be cheap, and he's a potential world star of the future, and his agent is Mino Raiola. I mean, from a business point of view, he's a very, very good signing for United to make, but maybe sign him and loan him out. I don't know. Maybe sign him and loan him back to Ajax, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But I want to just stick with Mino Raiola for a moment, because, as I said, we've signed a player from him every summer for the last 2 summers. So Lukaku, Mkhitaryan, Pogba, Zlatan. Is there another one? But, you know, that's quite a lot of players. And if we're going to sign someone from him this summer, and it's not going to be Justin Kluivert, I was just looking at some of the players that are in his stable. So Verratti at PSG, he's out for the rest of the season, but he'll be back for next season. Midfielder. I mean, very quiet around Verratti at the moment. Not, obviously injured anyway, not going to the World Cup with Italy. A little bit small for Mourinho, but actually, if we're linked to Fred, who's around the same size as Verratti, around 5'5", 5'6", then why would you not go for Verratti, who is a Mino Raiola player? So that's a possibility. PSG player again. And then Hirving Lozano, I hadn't realised was a client of Mino Raiola. I mean, I'm not 100% sure about that, but when I was looking at his list of clients earlier on, Hirving Lozano was there. So, and then the only other one would probably be Mario Balotelli, which I would rather eat glass than see him back in Manchester. Played for Liverpool, played for Man City. I don't want him anywhere near our club. He's available for free. Never say never with Jose. Look what he's doing with Fellaini. He won't think about things like that if he thinks Balotelli can do something for United. Or maybe it's going to be a summer where we don't sign a Mino Raiola client. I mean, maybe that will happen. But if we are going to sign one, I think Kluivert, Verratti. I don't think Hirving Lozano. I mean, I really like him. If you've been watching the United stand for any period of time, I really do like him. I liked him when he was in Mexico. I mean, I'm not going to say I watched every one of his games, but I liked what I heard about him, and he's gone to PSV and he's doing quite well. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Umtiti is the next player I want to talk about. Can't beat a bit of Umtiti on Friday. Barcelona centre-back. Now, apparently, well, he is available. He's got a release clause of around £50 million sterling. United have been linked to him. Barcelona want him to sign a new contract, and there's a bit of give and take about wages. There was a story in Marca, I believe yesterday, basically saying that Umtiti was offered to Manchester City in January, and obviously he's been offered to Manchester United, but both clubs are fully aware that he's only being offered out to boost his contract at Barcelona. He's basically using those clubs to boost his contract at Barcelona, and he's got no intention of leaving. So interesting whether that's true or not. My personal feeling is that if you can get a player of Umtiti's quality for £50 million, you try and do it. If you don't get him, you don't get him. You know, punch his chance, isn't it? Throw a punch, see if it lands. And if he ends up staying at Barcelona because that's his end game, then that's his end game. But we'll have to wait and see what happens in relation to that. Just on that point, very interesting comments from Jose, which I touched on in the video yesterday for the preview, about him saying that Darmian and Blind are part of his plans, and he basically doesn't want them to go. I don't think anything about that. I don't think anything about that at all. I mean, what's Jose Mourinho meant to say? Yeah, Blind and Darmian aren't part of my plans anymore. A month before the transfer window opens, and everybody in Europe knows that they can get him at a cut price. I think it's just Mourinho being very clever. I think he knows they're going to go. I think they know they're going to go. I mean, Daley Blind. I liked Daley Blind as a left back. I think Daley Blind as a left back was pushing. I think we started the season with Daley Blind as a left back, and we've just transformed another winger to left back. But I think Daley Blind should have been playing at left back, far more balanced, got a lovely cross on him. He's in the cold, he can't even make the bench. Same for Darmian. Why would they want to stay? So I think they'll definitely go. They haven't got a future at Manchester United. I think Mourinho's just trying to retain a little bit of value there. And a potential good little bit of news about Anthony Martial as well. That Anthony Martial, Manchester United apparently, and Mourinho, very desperate to get him to sign a new contract. And the issue could well be that Martial needs some reassurances about what his future is at Manchester United, and that may well involve him playing more centrally next season. How that's going to work, because Lukaku very rarely gets dropped, but Manchester United, that would be good news if we are trying to get Martial, and we just need to reassure him. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't blame Martial anyway. I mean, I thought he had a good season up until January, frozen out ever since, and Mourinho needs to put the work in there with him. If he wants him to stay, he needs to start playing him. And he came out with that comment yesterday about Eric Bay's not been playing because he feels sentimental towards Rojo and Jones, who need to get in the World Cup squads. Well, Sanchez isn't even going to the World Cup, and you're not giving Martial or Rashford loads of minutes to go to the World Cup. So, you've got to be consistent there, and hopefully you will be. And I did touch on it a little bit yesterday. Leon Bailey, a bit like Hirving Lozano, winger, doing very, very well. I think he was at Genk, I think, in Belgium, and he's now in Germany. And he's doing very, very well. Very, very well. I think he could be a star of the future, like Kluivert or Lozano. Man City are linked with him. I mean, this is the sort of thing that worries me, because I remember us being tentatively linked to Sane and Jesus, and they both went to Man City. And I'm telling you now, Leon Bailey is going to be a superstar of the future. And we should be all over that, like a fat kid on cake, but we never seem to be. But it's only paper talk. But I think if Man City get hold of him, they're getting hold of a young attacking player that I would like at our club. I wanted Jesus and I wanted Sane. I remember doing the videos that we were linked to them. And I really, really hope that Man City aren't going to get hold of him, because he's very, very good. Anyway, get comments in below. Loads to talk about. Give us your thoughts on Neymar. Will we sign a Mino Raiola client, and which one would you like? Umtiti, do you think it can happen? Do you think it can't happen? Blind, would you have given Blind more games at left back? Martial, would you like to see him more centrally, or do you think it's a waste of time because he'll never get in ahead of Lukaku? And Leon Bailey, what would you feel like if he went to Man City? Is that the sort of player we should be going for? Thanks everyone for watching. Remember to drop a like on the video for Transfer Daily and give it your support, and get commenting below. Loving all the comments, and it's given us a lot of ideas for future shows, which is this week. I know we've only done 4, but there's been some great comments that we've noted down and fed it into future shows. So thanks everyone for watching, and match tonight, isn't it? Match day, Brighton tonight. So join us for the watch along tonight at 7 o'clock. We're live. Speak to you all soon.